What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. We got a little new thing today. We got season 2 kicking off. We got video because she's got this nice podcast week. She was sick at our university where I go to school. Hope we're all doing well. Let's jump right in. MLB is winding down to the very end. Houston Astros already clinched the American League West. Already have 101 wins against just 53 losses. That's an incredible mark. I think the magic number is, I believe they have not locked up the number 1 seed. I think the magic number is 1 to lock up the number 1 seed in the American League. New York Yankees have clinched the playoffs. Not quite clinched the division, but they're running away with that. They've found their stride again. They've won 7 in a row. The magic number, I believe, is 1 or 2 to clinch the East, so they'll be winning that division. And the Cleveland Guardians clinched the American League Central last night. They are the youngest team in baseball, actually, 86-67. That's a very bad division, but the Guardians have been red hot. 7 wins in a row, 9 in the last 10. They are absolutely killing it. They have won the American League Central. Tough year for the White Sox with Tony La Russa just clearly just being over the hill and coming in with World Series expectations possibly, and just being probably the most mediocre team in the league. And now you got La Russa. Last couple of weeks, he's been out with medical, and the doctor advised him to not return to the team. So they got their interim manager, Miguel Cairo, running the show there, and he called out the team, saying, that I believe he said that is not baseball, and something like that's unacceptable, is what he said. They asked Lance Lane, who was one of their best starting pitchers, who had a tough year this year. Are you surprised if you keep losing to Cleveland? He's like, no, the way we wait, the shit we've played all year. No, I'm not surprised. Very disappointing year for the White Sox. We'll see what happens this offseason. I don't see La Russa coming back. The dude's got to be pushing 80. Looks like he's pushing about 180. The guy is ancient. The game is passing him by. He needs to go. They need to get somebody else in there. That's a young team with a lot of great players and a lot of potential. They should have easily won the division this year. Even with Cleveland looking like they're going to have a 90-win year, White Sox should have been a 95-win team. And they're barely going to win 80 games. They are at 76 and 77. They're going to have to fight just to win 80 games this year and be 500. They should have a 95-win team. That's a tough year for the White Sox. As for the wild card, Toronto is the first wild card in the American League, 2.5 game lead for the first spot. Tampa is the second wild card. They are a half game ahead of Seattle, and Seattle is that last spot right now. Baltimore hanging by a thread at 4 games out. Seattle should hold them off, but Seattle has not been playing great, but they should still hold them off. Either way, very successful year for the Baltimore Orioles. Expect it to be another 100-loss year, and they're going to be above 500, it looks like. So, successful year for the Orioles. They're trending in the right direction. Even more so the Seattle Mariners, who have not made the playoffs since 2001. I wasn't even born the last time Seattle went to the playoffs. They should be heading back as a wild card. In the National League, of course, National League West, Dodgers have already clinched the number 1 seed in the National League. 106-47. Doesn't even look real. 106-47. Isn't that crazy? That's insane. 106 wins against 47 losses. That's almost 60 games over 500. That's crazy. So they locked up the number 1 seed in the National League. The Mets, my Mets are 4 games over 500 with 97 wins. They have already clinched the playoffs, but of course the Braves are right on their tail. They are a game and a half ahead of Atlanta right now. Mets have 8 games left. Atlanta has 9 games left, but both teams will have 8 games left after tonight because Atlanta plays Washington tonight. The Mets have the night off. So Mets are a game and a half out. If Atlanta wins, they will get within a game. If they lose, the Mets will be 2 games up. Of course, there's a 2-game series the Mets have with Miami. Atlanta's got 3 with Washington, and then there's the big series, 3 in Atlanta, and then the Mets finish off at home against Washington. Atlanta finishes off against the Marlins. So, home stretch of MLB season. Mets have clinched the playoffs, but division still up for grabs. National League Central, the Cardinals have clinched. They have not clinched the Century. I believe they're 6.5 games ahead of Milwaukee. The match number is like 2, so they should be wrapping up that division. Cardinals, since the All-Star break, have been one of the league's best teams. They've had a very good year. And congratulations to Albert Pujols, 700 career home runs, the 4th player in MLB history to hit 700 career home runs. He's got over 3,000 career hits, over 700 career home runs. He's got 3 World Series rings. What a absolute beast. He's nicknamed the Machine for a reason. First ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest power hitters in the history of MLB. All came full circle from him finishing his last year of St. Louis this year. And St. Louis is going to have a chance in the playoffs. They're probably gonna. They could make it to maybe. They'll make it to the division series most likely. They should come out of that if they're going because they're gonna be playing either San Diego, Philadelphia, or Milwaukee. I think they win that series. Then playing the Mets most likely. As a Mets fan, I hope they lose. I think the Mets will finish off St. Louis, but I think that could be a 5-game series. St. Louis is a very good team. You know what? Kudos to Ali Marmol, one of the youngest managers in the league, first-year manager. Kudos to him. He's got a lot of veteran players on my team. There's a bunch of players on my team that are older than him. A lot of expectation with Wayno, Yachty, and Pujols all in their last season with Cardinals. Of course, Yachty's a lifetime Cardinal. Wayno's a lifetime Cardinal. Pujols is not a lifetime Cardinal, but spent the bulk of his career and the best years of his career in St. Louis, and that was his swan song this year. And he was able to win the division this year, in a year where they were not expected to win the division. So kudos to the Cardinals, and kudos to Ali Marmol, who's Buck Shoulder for the Mets will definitely be a Match League Manager of the Year. Ali Marmol should be I guess a distant second or third. He's done a good job. Wildcard race, Braves of course have that first spot locked up. Whoever does not win the National League East will be the first wild card in the National League. They've already clinched the playoffs. Atlanta, San Diego has the second spot right now. They're playing some good baseball. They're a game and a half ahead of Philadelphia right now for that second spot. Of course, the Philadelphia has that last spot. Milwaukee's a game and a half out. Philly's got to be careful. They're not playing very well right now. Milwaukee's only a game and a half out. Of course, there's only 7 or 8 or 9 games left. But Milwaukee's very much still in this. They are only a game and a half behind the Philadelphia Phillies. That's what we got for baseball home stretch of the season. We got just over 2 weeks, probably a week and a half, 2 weeks to go in the season. Let's talk some college football. We have some good games. Georgia beat Kent State 39-22. Kudos to Kent State. Georgia gave up 10 points in their first 3 games combined. They gave up 22 to Kent State. Kent State put up a fight. Georgia looks like they're going to repeat, though. They are just dominating people. Alabama, who's ranked second, they ran through Vanderbilt 55-3. My goodness gracious. Ohio State, who's ranked third, they beat Wisconsin 52-21. My friend goes to Ohio State. He was at the game, and he's texting dude, they're up like 4 touchdowns. Like, what the heck? And I get an alert that CJ Stroud got like his 5th score. It was like 52-21. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. Wisconsin's not that good, but wow. 4-seed Michigan only wins by a score against Maryland, 34-27. Michigan's a great team, ranked 4th in the country for a reason. They kudos to Maryland for putting up a fight against Michigan. Maryland looks pretty good this year. Their head coach was a guy who was at New Mexico State. He got fired. I forgot his name. I apologize. Went to Alabama to be an assistant under Saban, and worked his way up the coaching staff there, and eventually got a second chance at Maryland. And it's working out because he's 3-1. They're 3-1 right now, and they almost beat Michigan. So kudos to them. 5-seed Clemson beats 21-seed Wake Forest 51-45 in double overtime. What an incredible game. Kudos to Wake Forest to putting up a fight against Clemson. They're definitely the second best team in the ACC. Looks like the ACC championship will be Clemson versus Wake Forest, and it actually looks like it'll be an actual game this year. Usually Clemson blows them out of the water. Huge upset. Kansas State beats number 6 Oklahoma 41-34. What an upset by Kansas State. Oklahoma, man. That's a tough loss for them. 7-seed USC beats Oregon State 17-14, so they squeak out of that one with a win. USC looks really good with Lincoln Riley as new head coach. You finally got Clay Helton out of there with Caleb Williams, who fouled Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma to USC, their young quarterback. Caleb Williams didn't do anything special, only 180 yards on the score this past week. Their running back Dye had 133 yards on the score. USC looks really good. I believe now they're ranked 6th in the country. The best team in the Pac-12. They might win the Pac-12 this year. And the college football playoff isn't out of the question. They're top 7 right now. Number 8, Kentucky beats unranked Northern Illinois 31-23. So they squeaked by Northern Illinois. A lot more closer games this week, thankfully. Kentucky's like very good. They're a top 10 team this year in football. We got Texas A&M upset number 10 Arkansas. They came in ranked 23rd, 23-21. So they squeaked by Arkansas. So kudos to Texas A&M for rebounding after losing to Appalachian State. Number 11 Tennessee beats number 20 Florida 38-33 in an SEC battle. That was a good game. Number 12 NC State beats UConn 41-10. NC State looks really good this year. Week 1 they won, but they won on a missed extra point. Since then, they have been blowing people out of the water. They look good this year, NC State. I think they're ranked 10th in the country now this week. Number 13, Utah beats Arizona State 34-13. Arizona State's terrible. Oh my goodness gracious. They are so bad. They just fired their head coach. I mean, I don't know why they brought Herm Edwards in the first place. I love Herm Edwards. He was a great player. He was played for the Eagles mainly. He was head coach of the Jets at one point. Wasn't great, but I thought he was a good guy. He did have the kid one pretty good year. He was good on ESPN, but he does not know anything about college. That was never going to work. But Utah usually beats them. Arizona State's 1-3. They got to make some changes to that program. That program is terrible. Number 14 seeded Penn State beat Central Michigan 33-14. 15 seed Oregon squeaks by Washington State 44-41. Oregon's rebounded since losing 49-3 to Georgia week 1. They've won 3 in a row. We got 16 seed Ole Miss over Tulsa 35-27. 17 seeded Baylor over Iowa State 31-24. 18 seeded Washington beats Stanford 40-22. 19 seeded BYU beats Wyoming 38-24. We got an upset. Texas Tech beats number 22 Texas 37-34. Texas Longhorns. Come on, guys. It doesn't matter who's the quarterback, who's the coach, whether it's Tom Herman, whether it's Charlie Strong, whether it's Steve Sarkisian who they got now. Texas is going to be overrated as heck every single year. Every year, they're like, oh, this is going to be their year. Like the Cowboys. They think this is their year. And then that's the point. Except Dallas actually does pretty good in the regular season. Texas doesn't even do good in the regular season. They're 2-2. They'll be 7-5 again, and they're going to lose some wacky ass bowl game. Get ready. Also, Texas Tech in football. Texas Tech was a below average team with Patrick Mahomes. With whoever the heck they have now, their quarterback is D. Smith. I don't even know who that is. I don't know his first name. I don't know who the dude is. They can't be any good. They're 3-1, but like that's not that impressive. Wow, Texas, very bad. 24 Pitt beat Rhode Island 45-24. And in a big upset, Middle Tennessee beats number 25 Miami 45-31. Miami, who obviously the glory days of the U are long gone. But they brought in Mario Cristobal from Oregon this year. It was looking like they might finally start to turn the program around. First 2 games, they were crushing people. They put up 70 points week 1. They looked like a reborn team. Then they lost 2 in a row. They lose to Middle Tennessee. If Tennessee wasn't in the name of the program, I would not know where that is. They're known for like beating Michigan State as a 15 seed a couple of years ago in basketball. Miami, as they've been for quite a while, are a fraud. For NFL, week 3, of course, we still got the game on the night, but for the rest of the games, we had the Browns beat the Steelers, of course, on Thursday night, 29-17. Dolphins with a big upset over the Bills, 21-19. Dolphins only 3-0 team in the league. Tua, he came out of the game for concussion late in the second quarter, came back in the third quarter. They're actually being investigated, the Dolphins, for like the way they went through the concussion protocol. Like they got to go through certain tests for them to come back in with concussions. Like Tua, after he suffered a concussion late in the second quarter, he was like he couldn't even like stand up. He was dizzy. And then all of a sudden, third quarter started, he's right back in the game. It seemed like a little bit of a quick turnaround to be back in. So they're being investigated. But Dolphins playing very well. Defense looks great. Tua has looked better. Hopefully he's okay. But Dolphins only 3-0 team in the AFC right now. But the Bengals beat the Jets 27-12. As a Jeff fan, that was disgusting. Joe Flacco, get out of the league. Okay, get out of the league. Mike White should be the starter. Especially when they have a banged up offensive line. Obviously, Mekhi Becton, who was supposed to be your left tackle, is out for the season. Now you have Dewan Brownie, who's a great player, but he's 37 years old. Not quite the same. It's still pretty good. He's on IR, so you got to start a 4th-round rookie, Max Mitchell, at right tackle. Your center, McGovern's not that good. Barrett Tucker, your left guard, is very good, but he's only in his 2nd year in the league. Your O-line's going to struggle a little bit. And Flacco's no mobility. That's why you should play Mike White, who played well last year, I thought. Yes, he threw 4 picks against the Bills, but those the Bills were the best pass defense in the league, and no one played well that game. Just got blown out that game. Last year against the Bengals, he threw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the Jets won. The 4-win Jets beat the AFC champions last year with Mike White. Why did he not play? I mean, come on, guys. Oh, and Matt LaFleur, he's a horrible offensive coordinator. He's got to go. He's terrible. Thankfully, Zach Wilson should be back against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's struggling, so hopefully just can get back in the win column week 4. Titans beat the Raiders 24-22. Raiders 2-point conversion failed at the end of the game. They couldn't get the onside kick. Derrick Henry had a nice game. Raiders are 0-3. Supposedly, Josh McDaniels had a lengthy closed-door meeting with owner Mark Davis after the game. I don't think McDaniels is going to get out of the season. He might be fired mid-season. He does not look good. I didn't think that would work. I think he'll be one and done. Panthers upset the Saints 22-14. James Winston struggled. He should. I don't think he should even be in the game. He's got 4 fractures in his back. He should sit him down. He should not be in the game. That dude. Now Michael Thomas is injured again. Saints just can't catch a break. Ravens over the Patriots 37-26. Lamar Jackson, another really strong game. He's looked great. He wants that money for sure. Bad news for the Patriots. Their starting quarterback, Mac Jones, who was off the Rookie of the Year finals last year, suffered a high ankle sprain. Won't need surgery. He's getting a second opinion, but is expected to miss week 4. So it's tough news for the Patriots. Could have been worse, but doesn't look like Mac Jones will play next week. I'm trying to think who their backup is. Well, might be Brian Hoyer. If so, God help him. He's not good at all. Vikings over the Lions, 28-24. Back and forth game. Really good game. Vikings able to pull it out. They win that one. Eagles over the Commanders, 24-8. And of course, once returned to Philly, he was horrible. Absolutely garbage. He had like negative fantasy points. He had negative passing yards at one point in the game. The dude was terrible. Eagles 3-0. They look really good. Best team in the NFC right now. Colts upset the Chiefs 20-17. Colts looked terrible the first 2 weeks. We're 0-1-1. Playing the mighty Chiefs, they win 2017. So the Colts step up and get a big upset. They scored late in that game, 24 seconds left. Chiefs almost went down and tied it. They were like on the brink of field goal range in the final second, but then Mahomes got picked off. Bears beat the Texans 23-20 on a game-winning field goal as time expired. It was a tight one between two below-average teams. The Bears have looked a little better than expected, actually. They won week 1 against the Niners. Week 2, I thought they put up a good fight against the Packers, 27-10. But if Justin Fields rushes a touchdown, if the Bears didn't call shotgun from the half-yard line on 4th and goal, and if the correct call was made on the replay, I thought Fields was in. That game would have been 24-17, 4th quarter. That's a football game. I thought they put up a good fight against the Packers, and then they beat Houston, which is not that impressive. But Bears are 2-1. They have luck considering they have a second-year quarterback who's not even played like a full season worth of games yet. A terrible offensive line, not very good weapon, a shaky defense, a rookie head coach who's looked a little shaky, Matt Eberflus. A first-year offensive coordinator, Lou Getsy, who's also looked shaky. Not too bad, actually. Kudos to them. By the way, the Matt Eberflus with his clock management was a little shaky right now. Jaguars with a huge upset. They beat the Chargers 38-10. Wow. Trevor Lawrence looks like a completely different player. Christian Kirk looks like he's also in his worth the money. Completely different story with Urban Meyer out of there. They got Doug Peterson as their head coach now. Jaguars look good. They're 2-1. Look pretty good right now. I mean, Chargers lose their Pro Bowl left tackle, first round pick last year, Rashawn Slater for the season. If a ruptured biceps tendon, that's a big loss for the Chargers, especially with their quarterback Justin Herbert playing with fractured ribs right now. That's a big loss for the Chargers. Rams beat the Cardinals 20-12. The Rams are 11-1 against the Cardinals over the last 5 years. They have dominated them. Stafford didn't do too much, but defense definitely stepped up. Cooper Kupp actually had a 20-yard rushing touchdown. Arizona, they don't look too good. Packers in a dull of a game. It was supposed to be game of the week. Packers beat the Bucs 14-12. It was a very low scoring game. Bit of a dud. We thought that would be an exciting game. Brady couldn't get a 2-point conversion late in the game, leading to the Packers winning. So the Packers 12, Aaron Rodgers beats Bucs 12, Tom Brady in that one. Falcons beat the Seahawks 27-23. Geno Smith actually played pretty well in that game. He's looked good. And Kyle Pitts finally had a nice game. And listen to this score. The Broncos beat the Niners 11-10 in the football game. Not baseball. Football. The Broncos won 11-10 in the football game. That was a garbage game. I'm glad I did not watch that game. Jimmy Garoppolo or Daniel Orlovsky stepped out of the back of his own end zone for a safety. Ugh, that was a brutal game. Okay, Nathaniel Hackett. This dude needs to get his head out of his backside. He looks horrible. Russell Wilson too. Let Russ cook. Looks like he's making Kraft mac and cheese right now. Russell Wilson. They gotta figure that out. When they start playing the Chiefs and the Chargers, they're gonna be in some trouble with Denver. Their offense looks brutal. But the Niners, that was bad. That was bad. Got Cowboys Giants tonight on Monday night. I think will be a good low-scoring game. We'll see what happens. But that's what we got for week 3 so far. We had the President's Cup. Congratulations to the United States President's Cup golf team. They win the President's Cup 17.5 to 12.5. You need to get 15.5 to win. So once Xander Schauffele won his match about half by the singles matches, that clinched it for the U.S. They have won the President's Cup 9 years in a row. Congrats to the United States team. For the PGA Tour, we got starting on Thursday the Sanderson Farms Championship. The defending champ is Sam Burns, who actually played very well in the President's Cup for the U.S. That starts on Thursday. That's what we got for PGR. And the Live Tour, their next event is not until October 7th, which is in Bangkok. Remember, Live Tour, not as many events, which is the whole thing of why guys are going to Live Tour, because it's more money and they can be on the road less to spend more time with their family, kind of thing. All right, let's talk some wrestling. The WWE Raw from last Monday, it was Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins for the United States Championship, and Seth looked like he was closing in after he did a low blow to Lashley behind the ref's back, but then Riddle distracted him, and Lashley ended up spearing Rollins and retained the championship. We have a Judgment Day beat Riddle and Rey Mysterio in a tag team match, and then Dom Mysterio beat the crap out of them. Damage Control, which is, of course, Bayley, and then the new women's tag team champions, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, had a celebration. Then Alexa Bliss came out and took some shots at them, which led to Alexa Bliss challenging Bayley to a match. But Kevin Owens beat Austin Theory in a one-on-one match. Johnny Gargano gave him a little assist there. The Brawling Brutes defeated the Street Profits in a tag team match. See, I love that tag team with Sheamus, and then the Brawling Brutes, the tag team, which is his two friends, Ridge Holland and Butch. And then Miz TV, Miz is out there with his friend Ciampa, of course. He called out Dexter Lumis. Of course, they had the thing where he was, in Miz's house, like, during the week. Obviously, it's fake, but that's for the storyline. And then he called Dexter Lumis out. He wasn't coming out. Miz was like, I told you so. And then Dexter Lumis cut a hole through the ring and tried to drag Miz and Ciampa under the ring. So that storyline continues. And then Finn Balor confronts AJ Styles backstage, saying, hey, we used to be boys, what's going on? Tried to recruit him to the Judgment Day. AJ Styles said no. And then Finn Balor stormed off. And then we had Bayley defeat Alexa Bliss in a one-on-one match. And then Damage Control beat up Bliss's friends, and that's good. And then Bayley challenged Bianca Belair after she beat her up for a Women's Championship match at Extreme Rules. SmackDown last week started out with the Bloodline, which was, of course, Roman Reigns, the Usos, and now Solo Sikoa and Sami Zayn are the new additions. He had Solo Sikoa acknowledge him, and then Roman pranked Sami, saying, like, what the heck are you doing? He's like, telling him, you gotta take off my shirt. And then Sami took, like, Jey Uso ripped off his shirt because Jey Uso doesn't like Sami for whatever reason. And then Roman said, I'm giving you a new shirt, and he gave him a shirt that said Honorary Uso, so he kind of pranked him. So Sami Zayn is now officially a member of the Bloodline. And, of course, the Wiseman Playman, of course, has been back for 2 weeks now. And we're gonna be having Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul at Crown Jewel. That should be interesting. We'll see what happens there. We had Liv Morgan defeat Lacey Evans in a non-title match, and then beat the living crap out of her with a kendo stick. After the match, she challenged Ronda Rousey to an Extreme Rules match with Extreme Rules for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Other things on SmackDown, we had the New Day defeat Maximum Male Models, and after the New Day won, Max Dupree had a hissy fit. We had Braun Strowman versus Otis and two Giants. Braun Strowman won that match. Braun Strowman looks amazing. He lost a bunch of weight. He's in sick shape. He's in the best shape of his life. I'd like to see him get a push. Braun looks absolutely fantastic. And then Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross had a brawl. Drew McIntyre was beating him up, with a strap ahead of their strap match with Extreme Rules, and then Scarlett Cross's, side chick girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, hit him with a low blow, and then Karrion Kross locked him in the sleeper hold and made him pass out. We had Raquel Rodriguez defeated Dakota Kai in a one-on-one match. You know, we then Shotzi came out and stopped the brawl after the match. So I gotta say, I love Raquel Rodriguez. I would like to see her get a push at a title. She's got a lot of talent in the ring. Big woman too. And then the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the Usos retain against the Brawling Brutes. There was a lot of chaos outside the ring. You had Solo Sikoa try to, and assuming it was Sami Zayn was trying to get involved, and then Sheamus, came over and Solo Sikoa, confronted them. But then Imperium, which is Gunther, who Sheamus is going to be fighting for the Intercontinental Championship again at Extreme Rules, and then his friends, it's his manager, and then the other guy, which is by the way, the Imperium. Those three were very successful at NXT. Just that Lil Bit Kai has been like his manager, and then the other guy has not been with WWE. Now they're reunited, so they're not like the other guy is not some random guy. Like that was a dominant faction in NXT, and now they're just back together. So we had Uso beat the Brawling Brutes, and then we had some chaos after the match. That's what we got for wrestling. I'm doing an NHL preview tomorrow. I'm gonna preview all 32 teams. That's what we got tomorrow. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.